Let's start with the vegetation. The assets we download can be found here, in this folder. We open and we are going to see this is an environment conclusion. And see you here are the trees. But we see that the textures are there one small mistake. So what we are going to do is paint them. Let's see, for example, this one we place and we see that the texture is not right. Let's paint all the textures those well. We select this. And we go to where the materials are. And we see that the shader. This shader is wrong, we must change it. Let's locate the texture of this tree. By clicking here, selects the location of the texture. Then we see what is this. And this would be the first. And this would be the first time that corresponds to this. Time that corresponds to this. Well, first let's place what the leaves are. Let's change the shader here. Let's go to URP Universal Render Pipeline. And then in Simple Lit. Well, now he deleted us. Because it is another shader and here where it says the base. Let's place this base. We attach it and place it here. Okay, now to fix that. That the white squares are looked at. Let's change it here. We select alpha clipping and makes it transparent to us. It has already become transparent that it was. Blank OK. Now let's choose the one down here. We change the shader. Simple Lit and let's put this one on the base. There it is at the base. If we clip this one, if he tells us no, it doesn't change anything, so we are going to leave it at that. Means that the figure is solid, unlike leaves, which are square-like. Okay, there we already have one of them finished. Then we go here. We select Prefabs Products and, well, we can delete this one. And if we place this tree, it is already placed, as it should be. We are going to change this one in the same way. Our two materials. This one here is displayed correctly. Let's change the other one. So here we are going to change it to universal. And Simple Lit and highlight the texture as a base. We are leaving here and here. We are going to open Prefabs Products. And in theory, let's put it here. Good. We missed painting that part there with the alpha clipping. Remember, we are missing this one. We see the textures corresponds to this texture. And this last two would be okay. Then let's change here the Simple Lit shader. And remember that first there was this texture from here. Now we do the same with the one below. Simple Lit and we are going to apply this one here. Remember we put the alpha clipping on it and that's it. We already have the other tree. Okay, we can delete it now, we are missing the last one. Located would be this one here. We open the textures. The location would be these two textures. We change the shader. And this was. The trunk first would be this the base. And the one below. We place the base. We put the alpha clipping, and ready we have the tree. Well, to the trees we can even change the color. For example, I could grab from the trees. Could grab this tree, say, and change the color. I go here to the base section, and here I can change a color. Put a green one for example, and we are going to put this good tree on the scene. And this tree would change the color. Look at this. Then we can play there a little bit with the colors to give it a more vivid color. For example there. This one can be deleted. Then we could still put this one here, at the scene. Here we change the color of the base a little bit. Is to give you more. Looks a little nicer. This one the same. We go here to the base and add a more vivid color and we will delete them. And now we go here to Tool, here to Paint Trees, and click here where it says Edit. Let's add a new tree. We look for the tree and we are going to put up this tree. Okay, here we are going to add you. And now we have here the size of the brush size and tree density. But if I click on it, it turns me on pretty much. If I put this one bigger, puts me more trees. If I lower it, it would be less. Okay, and we also have the height. And how thick I want the tree to be. For example, here I can put the height to be random, that random interval. Or random would be between this interval. I mean, I can make this one a little bigger. For example, like this. And me clicking on it gives me very small trees, or very large. I could do him like this. Look and put up very small and very large trees. But they look very, very ugly. Not these little ones. That's what this tool would be for. And we can also here block the size in. The width in relation to its thickness in relation to its height. If I block the tiny ones, look at the no longer flattens them, they are simply tiny. Or could I unlock this option? And here define an interval. So that's how I have small and big ones. Very thick and very thick. Or small and tall. With little thickness gives it more variety of vegetation. Okay, let's define here a random. For example, a random more or less there. And we also put a random here. But if I click there, it seems that they are all the same, but they are not. There are some that are a little bigger than the others. For example, there it is bigger than this one. Well, and now we are going to. For example, if I want to place lots of trees throughout, the terrain could be very large, the brush, and put a smile. Very high is a way no. And I click on it and start painting. But it fills me up as well as width of trees. Then another way to do it is, could I put here to see a smaller brush? He has a very high rating. We went down the stairs and filled everything with trees, didn't we? Is a way of on how to fill the stage with trees. And another way to do it is, give it here at to place them in bulk. And place the quantity we can put, for example, 200. And I give it in place and it puts 200 on the whole plane. 200 of that type of tree on the entire plane. Then I could increase here. Let's go to put about 250. And places them in everything all terrain, but including the mountains right now. Let's see how we correct that. Let's add another tree here. Let's add another tree. At this tree we give you an add. And we are going to place them in bulk. We are also going to put up about 200 trees. There it is. To have. For there to be variety, we can even add the other tree we have. And we look for it here, you can find it in add. And we can put another 200 of those trees. Ready, there it is. Okay, now the whole ground is full of trees. And we realize, well, almost the entire ground is full of trees. We could even add a little more of these. Or add about 300 of these trees to it. There it is. We approached and there it is more or less full of trees. Okay, now let's paint all the trees along the way. On the roads, we will eliminate them. Here, for example, we can define a brush size, more or less like that of the road. More or less, there it is. And if I go along the roads, for example, those who are up here, we are going to leave them there. Those who are here and press Shift-click removes them. All those who are on the way, we will erase them. This one here in the water, for example, we are going to remove it. Here we can rotate. Placed several here in the water. Let's make the brush bigger here with a Shift-click. And we erase those who are here in the water, because it makes no sense. Not that there are any here in the water. There is some type of vegetation that we could leave behind, but not in the case of these trees. There is no longer any. Here is more Shift-click and delete. Okay, maybe I'll process them in. As there are many trees, then we are going to apply a correction there, a modification, so that it can be processed without saturating the equipment resources. We make the size of the brush small. And we continue deleting with Shift-click. Let's delete this one from here. This one in front of the house, we can add some later to give you more landscaping to the roads. There seems to be none there, but if I give it zoom, there are trees. What you have, Unity, is that it automatically changes the textures of the objects of the elements so that at a distance become a 2D object. That gives of the darkness that they are there, but they are not really. Okay, here. Let's leave this as it is. We remove it anyway, we remove this one. This one, we remove this one. And this road is missing from here. And also, Shift-clicks are deleted. Here are others. We could remove those who are here in the mountains, or we could leave them. Let's remove them. Add pines. We could also add pine trees in the mountains. We make this one bigger and Shift-click and sweep away everything found here. Anyway, they are not going to, I don't know, would not be appreciated because with the modifications we are going to add to optimize performance would disappear visually. Then, here we can delete everything that is found here in the mountains. Okay, let's hit the fly-ins to the fly. To see those found here in the house, and we could even here to see. Let's make it bigger. The smallest brush. And we are going to remove this one that is here, and I could choose this one. Place trees. I raise the rating. I put the foam in and that's it. There is another one. That tree that is there, we could put it on this side. Let's leave it there. Here I will be able to add more trees. If I turn the curtain to see, let's turn the curtain to give. To see how it is on this side, according to the viewfinder here in the game, let's rotate the rope. To see there. Okay, so I think, is it okay how many trees we have? Let's move the curtain and put it on. Here. Very well. Don't forget to save the project. Keep it constantly. Very well, now we are going to paint the roads a little bit. Because in general, a road is like deeper in the desert. Human aging. We are going to select the terrain. Let's go here. We paint with noise. And we can choose to see a brush. Let's say this brush. We make smaller. 1s. And for example there, if I press. Let's see first. Let's go to. If I press Control and click on it, they sync. Look. Then we are going to download it. By force we are going to put it in one control. Control click and it goes down the road. Then it is very large. I think the size is going to be lowered. We could. To give it a smile like a toy. By the punk constant transit of people. But even like, besides syncing it, let's see. Raise it on the sides. To give you here as more pending. Just here on the sides. Okay, you can pause the video and play around with it there. With this tool, to give it an appearance of the road being heavily traveled. And now we continue with what grass is all about. Okay, now let's add to the grass. Let's look for it here at in the folder, we will look for where it says prefabs products. And here we find flowers. And we do not know what they are because, well, these are rocks. We have not corrected the textures. We go here to just as with the trees we go here. Let's change the shader here. Let's click on it here so it doesn't change the window. And now we are looking for the textures. Here are the textures of the flowers. And we realize it. Here you will find all the textures except for of the rock. Well, then let's put the base here. And once we set the base, we are going to let's put it here at the scene to see how. We are leaving here. We are going to prefabs. And we are going to put them all. We have modified them now. Well, to see the flower, if we realize it, they all appear to us with not with the square. Then to correct them, we go here and go to the alpha clipping. We select the alpha clipping and we can. Here is the flower. We can with this modify how much we want him to take away of the transparent. Let's leave it as it was at 0.5. There I am correcting the others. Because it is the same texture. Look, they were all corrected. And for him the rock. Yes, well, let's remove this one here. We select the rock. And here we are going to change him. The shader. There it is. We apply the texture. This. The base and ready. There is nothing to put on it because there is nothing that is transparent. There it is. We already have corrected these elements. We are going to let's remove them from the scene. And we keep that to add grass and flowers. We are going to go here to the fourth option we select, the terrain. We go to the inspector, we select the fourth, and we go down here, where it says that the list is empty. Let's add detail mesh. A mesh that we are going to paint, for example. We can compete with the flowers and look at. I'm going to paint a few flowers here. And those flowers, if you notice, they have different colors. Some are darker than others. I can modify this here, look here. I can even make them taller. Here there was a. With this one you could also modify them. Here we are going to max height is 2. We could modify how much the how would be of random the noise of the brush. How we want them to get sick in the same way. With this one, look in terms of size. Some smaller, others larger. Let's put here 0 and. Well, as you can see, look. If they notice, they look at each other. Look better. And we will be adding random flowers on the map in the plan. We can click here. We can make the brush bigger. Not so big. There it is, and it places me more. Then let's make it smaller. There it is. And there we go, adding flowers. We can add as small clusters, not small areas where they grow. Nor is it a matter of covering up the entire plane with that kind of flowers. Okay, let's see, then we'll go here. We select the capsule. We do the focus and see that there are already little flowers there. Same as the house. There they are. Okay, here we can still add another type of flower. We click here to add the list. And we can put these little plants. We click on add. We do the bush smaller. And we can lay a few plants. In this case, look at the plants. Is wearing them together with the other one, along with the other flowers. These are going to be deactivated. Let's Control Z, and now it just puts those on us. These flowers are very high. Let's lower it. The height. Let's lower the height. Here. Let's put this. That look like floor flowers. To be appreciated a little more. There it is. Well, we do. Smaller the bus with the S. And let's start putting some little flowers around. As I mentioned, it's not about covering it up. It's just about putting them on to give a better view. Another one here. Especially on the roads, because it is where it can be seen, are more appreciated. here are others. Okay, now let's do the same with. We select this one, give it more, and add the grass. The grass here is the grass we give you add. That we add here the grass. And we are going to paint a little bit. There we see that the grass has a very nice finish. Solid and caricature-like. We can make a small modification to render it as grass. We change the pasture here, we select the pasture. And we remove good. If it does not appear like this, it will appear to you. So then we click here. We remove this one and change the renderer. We change it to grass. And there it is. I have already changed it a little bit. We can change the color here. We are going to change the color of this one. And we are going to make it a little more opaque to make it look like more grass. There it is. Well, it's just that the grass is kind of crooked there. So if we go here to the options, you are crooked because it is simulating wind. We can simulate wind here. Well, we are going to this option and here where it says wind properties for grass. We are going to download this one that says bending. That what it does is like pushing the grass in one direction by the wind. Let's set it to 0. And there it already gives us a more grass-like appearance than grass. Let's move the capsule. Let's put nearby to appreciate the grass. And we are about to start painting with grass. We go here. To noise, we select this. And we start painting. We can fill this entire section here. Look, there isn't much density here, so we can change it here. We can increase here a little bit. We have already started to cross the terrain. This section, and especially on the banks where they pass by, where you will travel more. The important thing is that we implement the tools. Here I see an error. Let's fix it once and for all. We're going here. We are going to sculpt ourselves with noise and raise it a little bit. There it is. Okay, now, considering we already put grass, we already put flowers, we have already laid plants, we can add some rocks to give you more visibility there. In the corners are usually those in the corners where the rocks can be seen and serve as a reference. When they create a video game, it is good to leave references by player navigation. There is located with this reference. If we fill everything with rocks, because it would be difficult to use them as references. But if they place a rock, for example here, and the character comes from here, you know that the rock, it gives a reference that a village. Is it that way or is it to the right? We can add the rock well. We go here and we go to the prefabs ones and here we have the rock. We can drag it here to the scene. We can put it, for example, here. We could put a rock in there. already arranged it, is floating a little bit. We are going to download it. It is floating and it overlaps with the rest then. We are going to leave to the third option, and here with click Control, we erase what is around. I have selected only this one. Then let's select them all. Click Control and delete what is around. And there we have the rock. I would like to add another. A few smaller ones. We can add one here, for example, small one. We scale it with R. All complete. A, and we lower it. You can move it to put it here, for example, we download it. We could not rotate. It's kind of buried. And next to it we could put another one. We still make it small. We rotate it a little bit so that they do not look the same. And we put it here. We cannot rotate. Don't let it float because then it looks ugly. There it is, more or less. I think that's fine there. Very well. With that we end the practice of vegetation. I think it is already beginning to take shape. I think our scene is starting to take shape now. In the next practice, let's see some features there. To modify the lighting and apply some visual effects to show. I'll end this video over here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any new videos. See you in the next time.